morning.
Good morning.
How is everybody doing this morning?
I'm sort of not entertaining. I suggest everybody has something to write with.
Yes. So, a bunch of things this morning. Really very, very excited. Kind of on phase one of things. First is the company convention has been rolled out for people to register. So that is a very, 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 very good thing. The hotel, I guess, has been, we're building, we've got a couple of them because they're going quicker than anticipated and stuff like that.
You have to be on POL to register.
Yes, you have to be on POL. So you'll be able to do it as soon as we get that situated. But you don't have to have, you can have the non-pay one, right? So we should be able to register you today because you're not licensed yet, but you have access to the POL. So we should get that going and stuff like that. Well, I've done some research and two things will happen. One, airline flights usually, like everyone, like all the math says like 45 days or 4 months or something like that, something like math time. So I think we have it for mid-March to where the airline things will go. And Southern California will, a lot of the RVPs will end up building things, and so we'll end up getting like group discount and different things and stuff like that. So we'll keep an eye out for the airlines to be able to go because we'll be able to consolidate that. So, you excited? It's like the first January of the month, first January of the year. Hey. Y'all seem tense this month. I go sit there and says, man, I'm having a hard time. The therapist says, why? He goes, last night I dreamt that I was a wood mall. The night before I said I dreamt that I was a teepee. He says, don't worry, it's too tense. So, all right. So that just happened. So we've got Oz night this Wednesday night. So one of the things that we want to start doing is starting this Wednesday. We're going to start Oz nights going on Wednesdays from this point forward. And so there'll be this Wednesday and then the following Wednesday, and they're just Wednesdays. One of the suggestions, one of the things that we want to do is, and you'll get a clearer picture through this meeting, is it's growth time, right? And so we needed to get through the holidays and get things done, and so we want to make sure that we've got an environment, right? So here's my request: show up. Like the meeting starts at 7:30. I'm gonna ask that we're here at 7, right? We're here and we're engaged and we're talking with people and we're focused on growth. And look, the goal is we have enough people now where if 2 or 3 of us have a guest, there's 2 or 3 guests in the room, right? So it's, right, the goal is all of us have a guest, but we don't, right? If that doesn't happen, there's still going to be new people here. There's going to be support systems in place. There's going to be new teams that are growing. It's a working night. Even if you don't have guests, you're actually more valuable than the person who brought them, because the person who brought them, like, the new people will get more out of meeting you and what your story is and a lot of the pieces. And we're going to spend a lot of time kind of talking about this over the next 30, 60, 90 days, what it takes to build something, right? And so if we're going to build, then we're going to build, and we're going to go kind of put this stuff together. So put that on Oz night. Next Saturday is our first road show. We're going to meet here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll kind of go through. We might actually have a secondary meet. I'm going to look at the spacing. I don't know if I need to have the people coming from Burbank up here to be able to go back to Pomona. I got to look at the map, right, and stuff like that. So maybe we have a secondary. Good morning. right? A secondary kind of meeting space and stuff like that, right? And stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna, for the people that are local, we're gonna meet at 8 o'clock, and then we're gonna kind of put things together. So we'll send out all of the information, make sure that it's all arranged and stuff like that. So nothing's planned, nothing's set, nothing's organized. We're talking about the fact that we're going to have it planned and organized with that stuff. So we've got that put together. Again, Oz Nights this Wednesday. We're going to do Oz Nights going forward on Wednesdays. So that kind of gets that space. The meeting is from 9 to 3 next Saturday in Pomona. It's a long day. Packed snacks, packed lunches, protein bars, different things. Also, we'll be able to go get lunch, do whatever, and that type of stuff. I'm going to try to get the agenda this week. We might not stay the whole time. I'll look at the calendar, kind of look at what's going on and figure all that stuff out and meet with the RVPs and kind of put a plan together there. I'm excited. The Primerica leadership team is in Indianapolis this week. It's the second time we haven't been invited, which isn't going to happen anymore. So there were a lot of cool announcements and a lot of things that are going on. You know, we all have our little things, right? And this is one of them. So really, really, really excited about that. Some of you got an email yesterday. I don't know if I emailed it to everybody, so if I didn't email it to people who needed to, it says nothing disrespectful to anybody in the room. I was like, oh, I gotta get this out. Starting February 1st, there's a new platform for the managed accounts, which is incredibly exciting. TD Waterhouse is going to be a new partner for us. Is going to I don't know anything about it. I read a brochure and I sent it out, and so I'm going to get on the phones this week and stuff like that. But it's really nice that we have a $3 billion company that's just making one of the most important avenues of our business stronger for us. They've put in a significant amount of capital to the website interface for our clients is going to actually be usable, which would be really, really nice because right now it sucks. And it's a very, very cool thing. It was one of those things that I'm like, God, we're building our business around this platform and they're just making it better for us. And none of us had to go to a meeting. None of us had to spend any money. None of us had to do any of this stuff. It just shows up and we're like, that's cool. Now, they do it because they're going to make a bunch of money. That's what partnerships do. That's what manufacturers do. So they say, we're going to build the best products we can so that we're going to give our distributors the opportunity to leverage. And so that becomes an incredibly cool thing. So if I didn't send you the brochure, you can go on POL and download it and stuff like that. But it was, and I don't know anything about it. I wasn't at the meeting. But I don't know. So, all excited? You wigwams this morning? All right. So, okay, couple things. Okay, so part of what we want to do is really be clear what to do with money. Okay, like we spent a lot of time figuring out how we're going to get licensed, figuring out the right meetings, the right protocols, the right language, right the game plan structure, the wellness, the 401k structures. Like there's been a lot of this. Hey, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's put this together. This is one. Part of what I want to make sure that all of us, from the newest guy in the room, right? Is everyone met Paul in the room? No. Oh, sorry. If you're here for the first time, if you could please stand up. You know, the person who invited you, please stand up.
All right, everybody, this is Paul Blakely.
Hi, Paul.
Hi. He just started with us. He has his own marketing company, so he's an entrepreneur in the area already. So, but wants to check out what we're doing, and it's awesome. This is what we're doing. So,
We're excited to have you, and it's fun. The story is you guys will get to know Paul and Sue Like, it's in alignment with what we're doing, right? And that's right. One of the key structures of this is there's nothing different, right? That what we're going to talk about this morning, there's no special meeting. There's no extra like different, well, here's how we actually do it, but here's how we talk about everybody do it. Like, it really genuinely is what you learn from the word go builds. And it's an interesting space, right? Because some of the things that we're explaining right now to the folks that have been here for a bit, we won't actually explain to the new folks because the new folks will just live it. They'll just know it and have it. And so it's a little bit of an interesting space because over the next 60, 90, 120 days, we'll run, right? We used to run the here's what we're going to do. We're now going to talk about here's what we're doing. And then pretty soon it was here's just how we do it. Like, it just is. And so that shift. But a really critical component is that you and I shift. That we're not holding onto old thought processes. That we're not holding on to, well, here's how we're going to do it. The present tense, here's exactly what we're doing, what we've been doing. And you're going to hear a little bit about the fact that the results are starting to come from what we've actually already been doing. This isn't new, right? So I'm going to take a 5 to 10 minute kind of commercial to give you a clear picture of why we're doing what we're doing and how this works. And then we're going to kind of go into the functionality of how we do it and some of the commercials as to the impact of it. Make sense? All right. So here is our business. Here is what we want, right? So at the end of the day, guys, we need appointments. True? Every business in America needs possibility prospects, right? So the question is, what is our marketing strategy, right? A marketing expert, what is our marketing strategy? What we needed to do is we needed to solve for appointments, right? We can't get out of the appointment business. So the couple choices are, right? Primerica had a really interesting way to solve the problem of appointments, which was recruiting. See, the concept of recruiting is the reason we became great recruiters as a company is it's a pathway to appointments. Because if I recruit Paul and Paul takes me to his 10 best friends, that's a pathway to Paul's market. Make sense? Right? If I recruit Tony and he takes me to his mom, his sister, his next door neighbor, his cousin, those are appointments. And so Primerica said, okay, recruiting is a pathway to appointments. It solves for appointments, which it does. The dilemma became, well then, what's the value of the recruit? If the value of the recruit is a mechanism for appointments, then we treat them as a tool, which is an inevitable result of this linkage when it's not clear. It's, I'm going to recruit you. Dude, Oscar, you're going to be amazing. You are going to be so good, man. You have a huge market. Man, you're going to be a giant in Primerica because you know everybody. Recruit, value, appointments. Make sense? Here's the dilemma. Oscar goes, Brett, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's true. And we're like, don't worry about any of that stuff. You're going to figure out what it is. You're going to figure out you like it. You're going to figure out it's true by taking me to your best people. And Oscar's like, somewhere in my brain that doesn't make sense. But the bigger the base shop, the more successful an organization. We should know. Hopefully, hopefully we're not too. Okay, so this will be. It's sometimes look. It's the end of Mercury, right? It just happens when it happens. So we'll go through the scenario. All right. So, all right. So, okay. So the dilemma of this opportunity is, But if Oscar comes to a meeting and there's 20 new people that are standing up and they're being celebrated for going out, sitting with their brothers and sisters, their next door neighbors, their aunts, uncles, and cousins, they're winning, Oscar's like, well, I want to feel like that, so great, here's my opportunity to learn, here's how I do it, and we go. The problem is that we recruited Oscar for the greatest part-time opportunity in the history of the world. Oscar's not licensed. Oscar takes me to his 10 best people. Oscar figures out that he likes it. He figures out that it's true. But has Oscar made any money? No. So now Oscar goes home to Candy after spending an entire Saturday and Sunday with me. We go out, we see 10 or 15 families or 3 or 4 families. We write up some business. We make some money. We get some recognition. We walk in the door. We're all fired up. We're high-fiving. Candy's there. Right? Sitting down. She hasn't seen Oscar all day. Her Emma's running around. Right? They're going, this is crazy, right? All this other stuff. Candy's a little tired, right? Her daughter's been driving her Nate nuts. And Oscar comes walking in, and then this is awesome. Oh my God, great part-time opportunity. We're all fired up, hired, like unbelievable. I leave, boom, man. I love you. I'll see you on Wednesday, man. We're gonna celebrate it. We're gonna give you so much recognition. It's ridiculous, man. Show up, bring your folks. We're gonna give you. You're gonna be a hero on Wednesday night. And Oscar's like, that's right. And the door closes. And what's the very first question that Candy asks Oscar? How much money you make? Now, Oscar's known me all of 3 days. Oscar goes, you don't understand, Candy. We just changed these people's lives. And Candy's like, that's great. How much money you make? And Oscar's like, well, I can't make any money yet. I'm not licensed. But that's okay. Wait, you've been gone all day. How? And you guys didn't make any money. And Oscar goes, no. Brett made money. Kenny's like, wait. You've been gone all day. You did business with my sister, your brother, your mom and dad, and you didn't get paid and Brett did? And Oscar's like, yeah, but that's okay because I'm learning how to. And Oscar calls me going, dude, how do I talk to Candy? I'm like, that's okay. She just doesn't see it. Get her here on Wednesday night. We'll make her feel special. And so all of a sudden, we make her feel special. They come in on Wednesday night. We celebrate them, give her Candy high fives, all that other stuff. Get in the car. Candy goes, and Candy looks at him and goes, you realize that they spent 48 cents on that box of candy? He made $1,000 and gave you a 48-cent piece of candy. I've known him a week, and we've now created content. And I'm like, dude, don't worry about it, man. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Now, one of two things is going to happen. Either Oscar's going to see it and be like, dude, don't worry about it. She'll come around. We'll get it. And he charges. Or Candace's like, dude, I want you to come to the meeting, man. You don't, until you get light, you're not going back. And depending upon their marriage, depending upon the scenario, depending upon the relationship, depending on a million different things, we might not ever see Oscar again. Now, I have a question. Does it bother me? Why does it bother me?
Made $1,000.
Because I already made my $1,000 and he only knows 3 or 4 people and we already went to his best people. So, dude, if you're not strong enough to get through this, man, if you can't handle your wife, I don't know what to tell you, man. I got to get on to the next one because I got 6 more people coming to the meeting on Wednesday night. Because we have an appointment problem and we know how to solve the appointment problem. Recruit new people, go see their 3 or 4 best friends. Hopefully we keep around. Hopefully recruit them a couple people for them. But man, we better get them out in the first 24 to 48 hours. That's our business strategy. And it's created the largest financial services distribution company on the planet. Guess what? We have an appointment problem. Access still has an appointment issue. Every business in America has an appointment issue. We decided to attack the same problem from a different angle. We're not solving the fact that there's still a problem. We just said, how do we create a better scenario so that that dynamic with Oscar and Candy doesn't have to happen? Because if I keep Oscar around, Oscar knows 3 or 4 people really close, but he knows 100. If I can find a way to keep Oscar around and have him grow his skill, have him grow his value, have him grow his language, can't he get me access to all 100? Like, we're going to talk true, just like take all the emotions out of it. Like, use big boy language here for a second and ideas. Like if I have an appointment problem, recruiting is still our best mechanism, because if I get access to Oscar's 100, that's a whole lot more than Oscar's 3. And Oscar knows 100 people I'm never going to know. I could pay $1,000 or $10,000 in advertising and never get access to Oscar's 100. Significantly. So this isn't like, I want to make sure we understand, this isn't like kumbaya, let's all hold hands and we're just nicer, like we just have a better spirit. This is a, what makes the most business economic sense in a business model today where there's Uber and Airbnb and lots of things, and economics are down, and technology is up, and people are more skittish than ever before, and all of this other stuff, and people are broke and stuck. Like, what makes the most sense? We still have an appointment problem. So how do we solve the appointment problem? Well, let's keep Oscar around forever. What's that? That's where sustainability comes in. Let's keep Yubi around forever. Let's keep Bob and Don around forever. Okay, well, what do we need to do that, and what's the value? Well, one, we can't just make it about their Primerica business, because there are skills that we don't have. And so what if we taught people entrepreneurial skills that they could learn here, apply at their job, and they could get a raise, a promotion, or serious recognition in their jobs as they develop and master these skills? Does that increase their quality of life? Does that increase their economic return for their investment, even if it's not directly attributed to their Primerica income? If they could point back to the growth, then it's still attributed to their Primerica time. That make sense? So 3 weeks ago, we had a handful of folks stand up here and say, tell me about a raise or promotion or recognition you got at your job. And Arson stood up here and said, man, because I learned this, and because I learned this, and because I learned this, I'm having people come to me, and I understand how to break down systems, and I know how to talk to people, and all of a sudden I've got executives and different people who've been here longer coming to me, asking me, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? And I can answer them because I figured out how to break down the information so that I understood it, and now I can teach it. Was that not the conversation? You understand that that means that Arson's job security went up, his visibility went up, and his opportunities for promotions went up, because he's now significantly more valuable based on the tools that he's learned and the ability to articulate. So Arson's family goes, dude, so have you made your million yet in Primerica? Arson's like, man, I'm learning how to be an entrepreneur. Well, how's it working? Man, I got one promotion, and I got a position for a second promotion at my job because of the skills that I've got here. Man, it's already paid off. Now I get a master here and teach other people how to do that. Man, 17 is going to be ridiculous. Now, is Arson going anywhere? No, because we keep feeding and increasing value for Arson to grow his skills that he's going to attribute here and there as this moves. Does that make sense? So there's asset value number one. Asset value number two is we said, okay, how are we going to turn people into great recruiters? See, the problem with when appointments are valued through recruits, now I'm going to recruit you because I'm going to override you. And so now, man, you're going to be big because you know everybody. What that means is you will know a lot of people, and I can figure out how to get you to go talk to all your people and sell them shit. I get overrides. I'm excited. So now my interests are driven through your market. And if I'm not very good, or if I'm new, or I'm enthusiastic, or I'm whatever, what's the likelihood of me conveying that idea a little bit wonky?
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
Right? Because now all of a sudden I'm like, Oscar, you're gonna be big, man. We're gonna go make something. My God, we're gonna go see everybody. And Oscar's like, dude, chill out. Like, yeah, we'll get there, dude. We'll get there. But I'm pushing him because I want his market. Because I get overrides. And he makes money, but I get overrides. So now our skill has the ability to create conflict even when there shouldn't be conflict. That make sense? And so we said, okay, well, how do we solve for that? Because we want explosive growth that keeps people around, that creates a safe space for them to change and grow and develop and nurture and opportunities and all of this stuff. And so we went, okay, well, if we create this wellness strategy, this 401k strategy, where we have the ability to go in, and if all of a sudden we talked to Oscar, and Oscar's like, man, I know 2 companies that have 100 people each. My sister's company just had they just did a buyout and all this other stuff. There's 80 employees there that have no idea what to do with their old 401k. And we talked to Oscar about, hey, let's talk to Sis about coming in and just doing a wellness seminar for those people and giving them a platform to have a place to talk. Now all of a sudden Oscar goes, man, that sounds great. And then my first question is, so Oscar, I got a question. Can you handle 80 people? No. Because can you quit your job and make enough money by servicing 80 people at a 401k or in a wellness seminar? No. You might increase your income $300 a month. It's not designed for that. It's designed for training and growth. So you can't quit your job and go do it. So you might have to quit. If you were full time, maybe you could handle the 80. But economically, that doesn't make enough sense. So you can't actually do it. So now you've got more conflict. But what if you had 10 people that were all licensed in your organization that just said, hey, could you take a Tuesday off because we're going to go sit with these 80 people? If I hand delivered you 8 relationships that you can cultivate and develop and get to know and practice, and over the next 6 months, a year, 2 year, help them with the areas that are going on, do you think you then could handle the 80 people? So what you have is you're shy 10 people. So now you get to look at your market instead of, oh my God, Oscar, you're going to be a giant because you know everyone. It's, dude, man, if I got you licensed and hand delivered you 8 appointments, would that make a difference in your life? Dude, let's just get you to the licensing process. It shifts the dynamics of how and why we recruit. Is this making sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going through this for a very particular reason. A lot of you know what I'm saying. A lot of you are like, seriously, I totally know this. I got it. My question is, can you explain it? Have you rolled through it? Have you written it out? Have you explained it? Have you tried explaining? Have you gone through? Because just hearing it and understanding it doesn't allow you to grow a business. It allows you to fit into ours. But part of this is being able to give it one more time for you to be like, oh, I'm supposed to practice this. Does this make sense? Just that one's for free. That wasn't even part of the meeting. I was just kind of throw that one out there for you, right? Because it's an opportunity to convey ideas, right? So we said, all right, so now we shift the recruiting concept. We change the appointment concept. So why are we doing it? And this is where having that would really help. There's a difference, and here's one of your notes. There's a difference between a probability business and a possibility business. A sales organization that trains high-level salespeople has a probability business. You work your numbers, you know what's going on, you start your week, right? There's a very high probability that transactions are going to be done. I ran a probability business for 15 years. High accountability, high expectations, you're in or you're out. I don't have time for the people that can't get out of their own way. Vending machines owners are in the possibility business. We're gonna put Coke machines at schools and at the beach. And someone's gonna get it at some point. In the summer, there's gonna be a lot more at the beach, and in the winter, there's gonna be a lot more at school. But we're just gonna have them in both. Our business is a possibility business. You want a bunch of people licensed, a bunch of people clear and clean that understand what we're doing, that can convey it. Why? Because opportunities in their life present themselves, situations in their life present themselves, and opportunities in the world present themselves. And if somebody's licensed, look, Arson, you like me, right? You believe in this, all this other stuff. But if 2 years from now, you and Sin, right? got an inheritance or won the lottery, right? Not millions and millions of dollars, but a couple $100,000, like stuff like that. And you're like, hey man, we're pretty good. And Primerica doesn't really have to play into your future to be able to provide the lifestyle. You like me? If one of your next door neighbors 3 years later, or one of your buddies, right, gets a $30,000 inheritance or gets laid off or any of that stuff, like, you're talking to them, but it's been 6 years. I'm not at the forefront of your brain. That's not good or bad, that's just true. I got a question for you. Let's say you have your Series 6 to 65 license. You make enough money, things are good, but you're managing your own money. So at the first of every month, you're getting a check for $1,000 a month. Things are active, right? You're coming to one compliance meeting a year, blah, 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 just to keep your businesses active and all that other stuff. But you still are getting paid on work you've done. And now your buddy, your next door neighbor gets this inheritance, gets all this other stuff. What's the likelihood? Is it at least a little bit higher that you're like, dude, I know somebody you should talk to? Because if you send them to me, what's going to happen to your income? It's going to go up. So now you're emotionally vested because you like me, but you're also, financially vested in telling our story one more time. That is the power of our possibility business model. Does this make sense? So I don't want to recruit Oscar, have him take me to his 3 best friends. I go make $1,000. Him and Candy get in a fight. They're done. Because yeah, I made $1,000, but now that time and energy's over. But I'm like, I'll just go get another one. No. We are Hotel California. Now you can check out, but your ass never leaves. You don't got to be active.
That's gonna be my team.
Right? You don't got to be active. But Isaac, you get your Series 65 license, and if this year we find you $155,000 in assets, if all we did was those 2 things, we got you your Series 6, 63, and 65 license and found you $155,000 in assets. Your licenses are free for life. So at the end of every year, right, Mom Don, you had to write a check. God, drives you crazy, doesn't it? God. But now, guess what you're not going to have to do? Guess what you will not have to do next November? Write a check from your own money. Because you guys have the assets waiting for you to pay for your licenses. So they're never going to lapse. You guys had your securities licenses before. If we would have had this system with the assets that you had, you'd have had your licenses this entire time. So you could have gone, right, coach baseball, do all the things you did, right? The opportunity, the timing wasn't right. And then when we sat back down and said, we re-engineered all this, we got all this place, we built this in place, all of it's good. You're like, all right, let's go, because your life licenses, your securities licenses are still active. That shifts the dynamic of what's going on. There's a place for everyone and a role for all of us. Timing is timing. Does this make sense? So this is what we're creating. And so I want you to be very clear when we talk about how we're doing this, why we're doing this, and the steps. I want you to be very clear that this isn't a secret study. This isn't like magic thinking. This is just sound business principles and that are explainable as to why we're doing what we're doing. Now, what is the goal? Look, if you want to go regional vice president, the goal is somewhere between 50 and 100 people that are in your corner. Now, is there a business requirement? Of course there is. Is there a team requirement? Of course there is. But at the end of the day, you could hit the team requirement and not have the people in your corner. You can hit the production requirement and not have the people in your corner. But I got a question. If you have the people in your corner, what's the likelihood of production being done? Pretty high. If you have the people in your corner, what's the likelihood of having a team size? Pretty high. And we're going to talk about the specifics, but I want you to really understand why this is. So Cindy and Arson have 100 people in their corner. They got a team, right? They're focused, they're growing. And all of a sudden, we're doing RVP promotion. We're like, man, we're going to have a big party. We invite them down. They invite their 100 supporters to the RVP promotion. Does that help with the clarity?
Mhm.
Does that lock them in? Now, all of these people have watched them start when it was Arson and Cindy, the two of them, and then they slowly grew and they developed and they told their story and they walked through everything we're talking about. And now they're there to celebrate. They get to know all of you. They get to know our mission. They hear it one more time. They see a bigger vision. All that's good. Now, over the next year, they work out of this office and they say, man, we're going to go from 100 to 150 or 200 or whatever. And they build. And now 16 months from now, they decide to go open up their own office. They take the 100 plus the other 50 or 60 they've developed personally, plus their team, and say, we're doing a grand opening now. Why don't you come to the grand opening? And those same people come back to the grand opening because it's a support system. And what they do at that point is they bring in front of them the 3 or 4 or 5 or 8 or 10 leaders that they've developed now as an RVP. And they're like, man, we couldn't have done this without so and 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 so. And the heroes of the grand opening isn't Arson and Cindy. The heroes of the grand opening is the leaders that Arson and Cindy have developed. What do you mean developed? The people that they've taught to start putting people in their corner. Why is this important? Because then all of their supporters can emotionally and visually see the types of personalities, people, experiences, and backgrounds that Arson and Cindy can help change their lives. And so when Arson and Cindy sit down with them and say, man, we got to explode this thing to the next level. Man, we got to grow. We've got you. They have a mental picture of what it is they're talking about and their success ratio going forward. Does this make sense? Not only, but everyone on their team brings the 3 to 6 to 12 to 15 support systems that are there. And so when you're talking about so-and-so and so-and-so and the 14 people that they've got there, you're actually training them to be able to go, here's how this works, because there's nothing different that you're going to do from today that you're going to do 2 years from now. It's nothing different. But if you've got 200 people in your life that understand and support what you're doing, understand why you're doing it, and know how they can help, just do the math for a second. You've got 100 people. How many times, how many of you at least once a year get into some random conversation with somebody about them wanting to do something with their life? Like you're sitting at the wall, like it's just weird conversations. But I got a question. If you've got 100 people that are clear as to what you're doing and emotionally connected to it, and know how they can help and are clear as to what you can do, and if each of them just talk to one person a year and they think of you. Arson, if you get this phone call, hey Arson, my name is Brett. Your friend Billy told me to call you. Like I was talking to him at a party. Man, I've been in business. I quit my job. I got a little bit of inheritance. I'm an entrepreneur. I wanted this. I just don't know what my next project is. And Billy told me that you are phenomenal at developing business plans and helping people grow. And that's kind of where I am in my life. Can we meet? I'd love to hear what's going on. If you got that call, would you take it? If you developed it, would you know what to do with it? If you got 8 of those calls a month, do you think you could create something? If you did that for a year or 2 or 3, and now you've got 150, 200, 300 that know your growth and process, now I call you, you've been an RVP for 5 years, now you're making $500,000, things are good. Do you have to train me now? Couldn't you meet with me, right, develop and go, man, I know exactly who I'm going to have you work with. Man, you got to meet this guy, Paul. Man, he's been in business, been in marketing, he's got this business, man, he's phenomenal, he's got this. Man, I think he would be perfect for what he's working on, what you're working on. Man, I'll be here, but I'm going to have you work directly with him because that's the power of what we do. Hey, Paul, I want you to meet this guy, Arson, man, he's unbelievable, just met with him. Man, I'm putting him on your team, we're going to work with him. I'm going to work with you on how to work with him because I'm going to teach you how to teach him because that's the skill you're going to master. He grows up. And am I out in the field? No. Am I selling insurance and investments? But is my base shop and my business still growing? It's done. Done. So, what I would like to do for a 5-minute, 10-minute commercial is I'd like to have my friend Wade come on. And I'd like my friend Wade to share some of the things that Wade has learned and is doing about 2017. And then we'll come back and finish this conversation. The awesome Wade story.
Okay. Hey team, how are you guys doing? I'm only gonna take hopefully 7.5 minutes to sort of talk about sort of where my business has been. And you guys haven't seen me because I had a daughter who is 9 months old on Tuesday, right? And so the whole part of the plan was, Brett, I'm out, sorry, gotta go take care of my daughter and figure out this fatherhood thing. So I have fatherhood figured out. If anyone wants to know about it, just ask me. Okay. No, but this isn't working, or I show a little picture of her, she's cute and whatever. So, so why is that important? Well, during that 9 months, does anybody here think that Brett and Robin have been busting my back, or I guess I have been busting my chops, if I can say that. Do you think they've been busting my chops? Do you think they have been like, where are you? We haven't seen you, any of that. Does anybody think they've been doing that? No, they haven't, right? They've been like, do your thing. You know, we've been keeping in contact or whatever. And then that's why this business is so great, right? Because I get to go handle my thing. I get to be with my family. And during that time, I still have been doing the business. I have been keeping in contact with my people. I have been doing, you know, hey, they've been asking me how the baby is, blah, blah, blah. Why is that important? All right. So this month, at the beginning of the month, I sat down and I said, okay, it's time to get this thing rocking and rolling again. I have time now. We've got the baby schedule figured out. We don't have the baby figured out necessarily. She's still, did you guys know that babies don't take the weekends off? They wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning. They're Saturday morning, they wake up, they're there. So you don't need an alarm, you have a baby. I figured this out. So anyway, so basically, the great thing is that I've had all these relationships that I've been developing since that we began the business doing access support, right? And effectively, I have my baseline 30. So I call my baseline 30, and then I have I have my baseline 30 is my now 30, and then I have my then 30. So that's 60 people I've been working for the last 6 months, a year, whatever, right? So beginning of the month, I set 21 appointments, and I have 9 appointments that are to be set, that are confirmed, but I haven't set them yet, right? So, well, wait, what do those appointments look like, okay? So I've got, you know, 3 or 4 401k appointments, and here's the great thing. Let's talk about the 401k business for a second. If you don't feel like you're Wade, I understand the concept of setting up businesses for 401ks. I understand that's important, but I don't feel like I have the skills to do that. Let me tell you what's involved with starting to set up a 401k for a business. There is a form that you hand to the business owner. You say, have your people fill this out, and then there is an email address and a fax number that you fax this to, and then Primerica sets up the plan for you, and that starts the process, right? Now, obviously, you're gonna need to get Brett involved, and Brett has to do that, or someone licensed has to do that, but you're working towards something that's incredibly easy to do. All I'm gonna do on Monday for my 401k setup for this guy, for his law firm, is hand him this form and be like, we're filling this out now, I'm going with you, right? So the 401k business is set up. I wrote a $1.25 million life insurance policy on Tuesday that Brett wasn't there. And here's the great thing, guys, in our business. That's not a sales business, it's a relationship business. Does anybody think I was rusty from not being on a KT in some amount of time? Okay, raise your hand if you think I was rusty. I was rusty, raise your hand, right? But the great thing is that I've developed a relationship with these people, and what had happened is this guy's sister had died, right, young, and they're like, holy smokes, people do die young, and they called me. So I walked in there, I had my iPad, I wrote them up, and it was $143 on premium, and that's a $2,000. Somebody gets paid $2,000, and that's split somewhere between me and Brett, and the math escapes me. I know something's gonna show up, right? But Brett wasn't there, and Brett didn't have to do anything. I don't even know if Brett knew I was on the appointment because we've been having a message problems, right? So Brett just texted me, he's like, hey, you helped a family, right? That's the kind of business that you wanna have, right? So this isn't a mystery. It's not like I'm doing anything magical, right? It's not like I'm a super person that has super skills in business. I've just been working it over time, developing my baseline 30, saying, okay, what business owners do I owe, or who do I know that knows business owners, and setting appointments. Now here's the great thing, here's a little secret about having a bunch of appointments set. If you're like, well, wait, I can set these appointments, but none of them involve having business appointments, right? Or doing sales. I don't have someone calling me wanting insurance. I don't have a 401k business owner, right? Here's the great thing, it's a secret. When you have a full set of appointments set, you start to have scheduling problems, right? Why is that important? When you have scheduling problems and you're speaking to someone and you're saying, Cindy, let's sit down, I want to tell you what's going on. Can you sit down on Wednesday? And you're like, no, I can't. Can you do Tuesday? I can't do Tuesday. Can you do Thursday? I can't do Thursday, right? Then Cindy starts to think, oh, Wade may have something going on because he's busy, right? So this business, the thing about it is that if you're stopping yourself from setting appointments actually gives you an asset in your business, even if you aren't writing business, right? And people are starting to get some momentum, think, hey, what's going on? Wade's doing something. And I'm not doing anything different, right? Everything that I'm doing is the same. The last thing I want to talk about is I've got some people started in terms of got them on UConPass. And the great thing about UConPass is it tells you exactly where your people are. I've got 4 people on UConPass right now, and I know exactly who's in doing the business and who's not doing in the business. I don't have to have some magical people skills and be like, talk to them and try to figure it out. I just look at a thing and go, oh, Sean's doing the hour, Sean's engaged, Nick is not. Let me support Nick, right? So the cool thing is you know everything that you need to know already. You've been taught everything that you have been taught already to do the business. We just need to start keep doing what we've been doing and setting appointments, because it's just like you can leave the business in terms of actively coming to meetings, but you keep growing your stuff and the stuff can explode really fast. So in 1 week, I'm setting up a 401k, I did a life insurance sale, and then I got a new person started, right? So, and those things are not magic. I'm not like a super person. I just ran the system and have been slowly and consistently running the system with the time that's allowed to me, given the fact that I have a baby and my own personal legal business. And it's building and I can feel it. So that's it. That's my commercial. So thank you.
So it's funny. That's, you know, when Wade called and he's like, okay, well, here's what and I'll be full disclosure, right? So Wade's like, okay, I'm going to start. I'm like, fantastic. I go, do me a favor, shoot me an email of like your calendar of like kind of what's going on. And he's like, okay, you want me to send me an email? I'm like, yeah, send me an email. Full disclosure. What did you think I thought was going to be on that email? How many? 1, 2, maybe not even get the email.
Picture my baby.
Picture the baby. Here's 13 appointments and I have 9 more that haven't been set. Oh, Roy, okay, so what's going on? And we start talking and I go, so wait, what happened? He goes, well, Brad, you told me last year we had this contest to build our baseline 30, and so I reached out to these people and I had my baseline 30, and then I just kind of kept in touch with them, and then I called them and said, hey, I'm starting the new year, want to talk about what's going on? And they all said, yes. See, I'm watching some of you, and some of you think that Wade has 21 kitchen tables to go write insurance or investments, and so that's why he's up here. He was going to be up here talking before I knew about the life sale. I didn't give a crap about the life sale. Like, I'm going to take it, but like, it wasn't the objective. Listen, I spent 30 minutes telling you the commercial. What is the value? The sale? The sale is an inevitable byproduct. If you focus on the sale, the support system is not an inevitable byproduct. If you focus on the support system, the sale is a slam dunk. Why? Because you don't need to make it. Is there anyone in this room that has to make a sale to make their mortgage? You understand that that means that you get to help families, not you have to help families? Dr. Wade, he's like, man, it's the coolest thing. Like, I submitted this business, and then that money just goes into an account, and that's building my capital reserves for the things that I want. So I went to Chris, and I go, man, how cool is this? I went to this, and it goes that, and that. So it didn't go like. That's why we've done what we've done. So question number 1, a lot of you developed your baseline 30. When the contest was over, was the relationship development over? That's a personal question that the only person that can answer that for you is you. So we have an understanding, but now we get to go, okay, what is it that we're creating? So I reserve the right for this chart to change over the next couple days, weeks, months, years, but this is where we're starting. So, your homework, our assignment, So, I want to be able to explain how this works. Okay. The 100 people, the 20 people, the 10 people, the 37 people, Wade called me and said, okay, what should these conversations be? So I'm like, okay, Wade, there are 3 parts to our business. Part number 1 is, do the people in your life understand what we do? Do they understand what we do? Now, that's broken into 3 primary sections. Do they understand the facts of what we do? The facts of what we do is we help people with insurance investments, we recruit people, we grow, we teach entrepreneur training. Those are the facts of what we do. Those are the details of what we do. What's the value of that? Is there a difference between the details and the value? And what's the impact of that? Is there a difference between value and impact? See, one of the questions that all of us get to do, hopefully you'll take the time this weekend, is write down the 20 most important people in your life, the 20 people on your baseline, and ask yourself these questions on a scale of 1 to 10. How many of them know the details of what we do? How many of them know the value of what we do? And how many of them know the impact of what we do? And then add it up. The maximum number is 30. The higher we get, the closer we get to 30, the stronger platform you have in that relationship. Because what we do provides credibility in their mind. Now, that's a third of the equation. It's not the end of it. Some of us get really excited about writing a business, and so the details become it, and we're like, man, they totally know what we do, dude. They got the details down. Did my job. Great. It's 10 out of 30. That's a failing grade. What? This is an emotional business. Remember, if we want those people showing up that are the grand opening and their ability to see this, they have to know more than the details. How many of you care about people, like, how many of you get into conversations about life insurance? Before Primerica, how many of you wanted to talk to a whole bunch of people about their life insurance? Their retirement accounts. Those topics of conversations that lots of people have. Those are the details. Man, but the value, no one's coming. And the impact, 70 million families are stuck. The ability to have access to the educational tools, the ability to reach an emotional impact. What? Now, the impact without the details. So how do you do it? What makes you different? Well, we got the Rule 72. We got theory of decreased possibility. There's lots of details that validate and legitimize the crusade. But it doesn't end there. The second part of the equation, Yubi, is how many of the people on that list know why you're doing it? Do you know why you're doing it? And can you tell the story in a way that helps them relate to it? Because I've heard people tell the story of why they're doing it, but they tell it in a way and people are like, wow, good for you. Can you tell it in a way where you can identify that you had some challenges that you want to solve, that you found a mechanism to be able to solve it, for them to be able to sit there and go, man, I got some challenges in my life that I'd like to solve. Wait, what you're doing is solving those challenges? If I've got similar challenges, could this possibly solve? Recruiting them isn't the goal. Creating a space for them to relate is the goal. Why? Because if people don't get emotionally connected to your cause, they're not going to recommend people to you. But if people only get emotionally connected to your cause, but they don't understand the value and validity and credibility of what it is you're doing, they're not going to risk their reputation. It's the combination of the two. It's the vulnerability and stability of both of them. All right, Brad, I went in, I let them know our impact, I let them know why I'm doing it, I wrote them up. High five. Woo! Hey, here's your candy. How connected to helping you are they? Is that even on your radar? Do they want to help you? See, I have found that many people like being a part of something bigger than themselves. Most people don't want to help you make more money. So for them to be open to helping you, some of you went, so I got to get good at asking for referrals so they can help me like with people to go see. No. That's why the impact of what you do and why you're doing it is so critical, because they'll help you change your world and the world way faster and easier than they'll help you go make an extra $500. And once they ask, so how can I help? You have an answer? You get all that work done. You get them emotionally connected to what you're doing, the cause, the crusade, the passion. They understand why you're doing it. They're totally emotionally invested, and they're like, man, what can I do? You have that answer? I'll be honest with you. We don't have a good answer yet. We're still working on that answer. This isn't about perfection, guys. This is about recognizing the holes and filling them. This is our business. This is what we do. If we have an appointment problem, we want to solve our appointment problem. The best way to solve our appointment problem is to recruit and help people develop their markets. The best way to do that is help them grow their skills and develop, right? Be able to have them grow their assets, their values, and all their resources, and to get a bunch of people in their life that can understand and support what they're doing. Because if they understand and support what they're doing, and then there's a platform for them to be a part of contributing and growing, and now all of a sudden, if you've got 100 people, each one talking, they make that phone call and say, hey, Billy said, we all want the Billy said. Here's how we get the Billy to say. But is there anything on this piece of paper that's complicated? But how easy is it to disregard it? How easy is it to say, well, that's not important? Look, you want to get into real estate, you want to be able to grow communities, you want to change your environment, everything on this piece of paper helps you better at that. Everything we do. You know, grow your marketing, everything we do. The skills here generalize to everything. We get to practice it here because we have a quantifiable crusade. 70 million families are stuck. They don't have access to the resources and tools of the wealthy. We provide those tools and we give people a legitimate path to do something different. That is a well-crafted crusade that is real, that is solid, that is non-argumentative, that can emotionally capture why you're doing something. Did you work at a school district? Why are you selling insurance? Why are you doing Primerica? Out of alignment. Let me tell you why. Because I worked my entire life and I've always had someone in more control of my life than I did. And I would show up and I always felt like I was one step behind. Like there were other people who knew what they were going on. And I found a group of people that said, here's how and here's why. And I've been learning and changing and growing. And it feels great to realize that I have an opportunity to change my life. And then I turned around and realized, man, if no one else in my community learns this stuff, we're just going to repeat the generation. And so I got emotionally connected to learning and mastering this stuff and sharing it with people. Told that story to 50 people. You think someone will be like, wow, that makes a lot of sense? What are you doing? Do you know the details? On a scale of 1 to 10, do you know the details of what we're doing? Do you know the value of what we're doing? How about that impact? How clean are you? So it'll be interesting because some of you might put a higher number on the people in your lives that know certain numbers, and then when I ask what's your evaluation of you, the number's lower. Can we all agree that that might create conflict? That there's no one in your life that's going to be clearer on the company on what you do than you. And so if you can't articulate why you're doing it, everyone in your life is being left up to guessing, to filling in their own answer. What's the likelihood of them being staunch in your corner with their made-up answer? And they don't even know that they should help. What's the easiest way to get somebody to ask how can they help you? That gets them emotionally connected to what you're doing. What's the easiest way to get people to say the sentence, how can I help you?
Ask if they're willing to help.
Okay? But they're not then saying, how can I help you? So that's a good start.
It's still valuable.
Okay? What's a way,
They want to make money.
okay? What can you do to ensure that someone else is going to say, how can I help you? What's the easiest predictable way to make sure that I can get Yubi to ask me at some point, how can I help
You ask Ubi, hey, Ubi, how can I help you with what you're doing?
you? Yubi, man, you're working on this. Is there anything I can do to help? Dude, is there anything I can do to help? 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 If I can do anything I can do to help? 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 Do you have access to resources and smart people? Could that access to smart people and resources make a difference in some of the people's lives you're talking to? If you got good at facilitating those resources, would that increase your skill? And if you got really good at getting people to help people through that, through leveraging your skills, would that increase your value? As you increase your value and you tell their story, at some point, what's the likelihood of them being affected by the impact of what you're making? And if you help enough people accomplish things that they want, at some point, don't you think they're going to go, how the hell did you learn this? And now you have a platform, tell a story, and they're like, holy shit, how can I be a part of this? How can I, what? Help! If you worry about you, you're always going to have to. Tony, as long as you worry about you, you're always going to worry about you, and no one else is going to. You want 1 million people worrying about you? Worry about them. I got a question. If Robin called anybody in this room and said, man, I'm stuck, something happened, can you help me? Is there anyone in this room that wouldn't drop anything they're doing to help her? Anyone in the room? Why? Just because she's heard? Or because you've watched her bend over backwards, meet when she's sick, when she's tired, she's frustrated, when things aren't going well. She's put you ahead of her to make sure that she could provide. Why? So that you do something for her? No, that's who she is, but she's really, really smart. And she said, if I spend my life giving, there might come times that I need some help. And if I can list a bunch of people, when the opportunity presents themselves, everyone in Robin's life says, how can I help? I've had conversations with her. I've been on dinners. She tells the story. I've told stories to lots of people. She's told stories to lots of people. You want to know? It's about a 3-to-1 ratio. I'm pretty good at telling our story. I'm pretty good at it. 3 times as many people ask her at the end of the conversation, how can I help? You know why? Because she spent her life helping and adding value. I spent 15 years trying to get Oscar out on his 3 appointments. That's a fact, guys. This isn't self-deprecation. This is a reality of means to ends. I'm learning new skills. I've always given to our team, but it ended there. Like, oh, getting starts the city process, let's expand it out. Is this making any sense? This piece of paper will help you know where to start. Some of you will be frustrated. Some of you will lie to yourself to feel better. I'm okay with that. Some of you won't fill it out. You'll just tack it away. I'll worry about it later. It's okay. It's a place for everyone to roll for always. Here's what I know. If we decide to take advantage of this stuff and grow our skills, and we spend and invest 2016, week 17, building these resources, building these tools, creating the space, getting really good at defining our holes and getting better. Jarson, if you try to realize, oh my God, I don't know how to explain why I'm doing this. Let's just say, hypothetically, at the end of the day, you go, Sid, I don't know how to explain why I'm doing this. Nothing's changed between today and tonight, right? Except you have an option. You know what that option is? To ask for help and actually give language to why you're doing it. You don't actually give language to it if you don't recognize that you need to give language to it. So if you tuck it away and don't get better, you don't get better.
And you don't have to wait until you're quote unquote perfect at it either. Right? David went to 5 of his baseline and said, I'm learning these conversations. Can I practice with you?
They're your friends.
And how much are they learning every time he goes back to practice?
So I want to tell you guys the story, right? If someone goes with you on the journey and you get clearer and better. Now, if you go back and go, all right, so now we learned this thing, so let me show you what we're doing now, and you come from perfection and expert at delivery every time, then they're like, dude, you always come back with a different story. Now they're confused. Now you've worn out the relationship. If you're like, dude, we're working on this, I want to get a little bit clearer. This is what I'm trying to get across. Does this make sense? And you're asking the support system to give you support, 2 things are happening. Are you getting better? Are they learning more? And they're watching your evolution. They're watching your growth. So 6 months from now, when you're fundamentally better and you go to coffee with them, you think they're going to be like, oh my God, 6 months ago, I had no idea what you're talking about. It makes so much more sense now. You think they might say that? 6 months later, when you got 40 people on your team and things are cranking, you go to coffee and you're talking about it, you think they're going to be like, oh my God, you're really good at this now. This makes so much sense. Are they going to watch that growth? So when you then ask them about the people that they could help, that they could introduce you to, are they going to be thinking about the finished product, who you are a year from now? Or are they going to be thinking about the beginning product and who they've watched evolve and anywhere along that process? They become better advocates if they come along the journey with you. The dilemma in this room is that Rob and I are standing at this saying, here's what we're doing. Now it's better than here's what we're going to do. But 6 months from now, you understand that we're going to be able to have Isaac up here go, look, let me tell you how I got this thing started, man, from the time I decided. And we'll have different people at different levels of growth and progress. So the brand new people are like, oh, I see the steps. So when that's done, a meeting like this is irrelevant. What do I do? Let's go see who are the 10 most important people in your life. Let's get them in your corner. Let's have you see what's going on. Let's have you learn let's recruit a couple of them so you can learn how to support them. Because those are skills you're going to need to master. We can't get you paid till you're licensed, but now you're licensed. Let's go see those 3 people and let's go make you the $1,000. Because if I take Oscar out now on a Saturday, and we go on and we help 3 or 4 families and we come back in and we're high-fiving, right? And everything's good. We're hugging. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Here's your candy. And we leave, and I leave, and Candy asks what question? And all of a sudden, our Oscar goes, I think I made $437. Candy goes, today? And he goes, I think that's what Brett told me. Candy goes, what are you doing tomorrow? Get your ass outside. You made $437 today? Are you going out again tomorrow? To change the dynamic. That's why we've done all of this. Come help us. Come put this stuff together with us. We're going to be at the convention in June. The goal is 25 to 30 people in that room. The goal is 11 to 15 securities licenses. The goal is 4 or 5 wellness programs between now and then, so we've got this. The goal is to have the infrastructure for the securities license and the life license in place. The goal is for all of us to have this list of people in our corner. Why? Because then we sit in front of 60,000 people. We see what's going on. We watch $1 Million Earners. We see what happens when it works. You'll have watched over the last 6 months that it's going to work. You understand that you're going to sit with all these people in July and go, look, let me tell you what's happening. I spent the last 6 months learning how this is going to work. The organization's put together that it is working, and I just went and saw what happens when it works. I'm inspired, I'm excited, and I want to grow. And I can't do it alone. Can I share with you my growth? Because I'm going to recruit you into my corner. Do you think that's a good conversation in July? Starts now. We'll do our part. Sue and Robin already have, it's craziness, the stuff that's coming on place. Oscar's crushing the back office. Things are on check, right? So, like, we're going to be in July, guys. We're going to be in June in Indianapolis, and we will have the back office and the technology on point. We will have the administration. We will have the wellness systems on point. We'll have 3 or 4. Every one of us will have the schools on blast. We'll have the securities license on check. Every one of you will have your securities licenses on point. Like, we're going to be sitting there. There's going to be teams with 1,000 people making millions of dollars, and there's going to be a part of us going, and that's okay. Because if we can see what it looks like when it works, but we have a better it works, that's a feeling we can't pay for. But it starts today. It starts, Tony, with you getting clear about what your business is. It's about you figuring out what you want your 2017 to look like. What are you fighting for this year? Bella, what are you fighting for this year? Bob and Don, what are you fighting for? What is it going to be different? When we sit down in January of next year and we review, we're going to have some losses. And we're going to have some wins. We want more wins than losses, but let's decide the wins today, Cindy. When you look at your list, because you make them 50,000 times, review it, and at some point, being okay that they don't know this stuff because you're an amazing woman. And the moment I get you to realize that you're not going to sell them shit, because I've been knowing you for 5 years and I cannot get that into you. You believe me up to that point. And then no matter what I say after that, I turn into the teacher from frickin' Peanuts, Charlie Brown. Man, I'm gonna develop these relationships. I'm gonna learn this. Man, I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna learn this. This is awesome. Man, and we're gonna go sit with people and we're gonna change their lives. Walk, sell them insurance. And at some point, you're gonna listen to me all the way through the meeting. And you're gonna realize the only thing I care about, is for the people in your life to be clear at what you're doing. To be clear as to why you're doing it. And to understand that there's a space that they can help over the next 6 months, a year, 2 years, and 5 years. And everything else will absolutely take care of itself. Now, that's not true for every business. But it's actually factually true for ours. Because if you're telling them with the purpose of locking them in your corner, not a bait and switch, tell the story so that I can sell them something. But you genuinely are like, I want you to understand this stuff. And I go, Paul, you know your debt free day? You know what it's going to take for your kids to college? You know your financial independence number, exactly what you need for retirement? And if something, God forbid, happens, do you know the economic impact and how to protect it? No, I don't know those 4 answers. So we're friends. I care about you. I don't need you to buy shit. But would it be okay? I'm emotionally connected to making sure that the people in my lives know those 4 answers. Would it be okay if I provided those 4 answers to you? And if I accidentally had a path to make them reality, I'll share that with you. Would you be all right with that? Because I have an emotional crusade in 2017 to make sure the important people in my life know those answers. I cannot control what you do after you know them, but I can control whether you have them or not because I have access to them and you don't. Is it okay if I share that with you? Okay. Ooh, that's our damn business. If you do that to the people on your list, are there going to be some that are like, oh, so you can actually help me with this stuff? I'm going to need $3.7 million, but I got to save $371 a month, and I can save $371 a month. Can you actually take the money from me? Like, there's going to be some that are like, can you just help me with this, or do I got to go talk to someone else? You're like, no, I can help you with it. Oh, okay. Should we do it now? Okay.
That was just a light bulb. I sit here and I struggle with, well, I'm gonna say the right thing, but if I said that, I was just thinking, I work with 10 people every day who I haven't said boo to. And if I just said it that way, you should know. I see you every day. You should know what I'm doing. If I could answer those questions, and you don't have to do anything with it, but if I can just get it off my heart, answer those questions for you, I'll be happy. Can I do that? Just like that. Not like, oh, you gotta say the right word and pause. 1, 2, 3. And it's like, my God, duh,
This is a relationship business.
duh.
And you've got old wiring. Maybe you could translate that to Cindy.
Cut the wire. Pull green, pull green.
Hold her grip up. Right? Cindy's like, why is he picking on me? You know how big my heart is for you. But it's the same thing. Don't worry. I'm really glad Dawn said that because I was moving back.
Yeah, I know. I cut him off at the path.
Because it's the same thing. I could pick anyone in the room. I pick you. Guys, if the most important thing, Oscar, is for you to fight to make sure the people in this room, in this list, know what you do, know why you do it, and that there's a space in the future where they could possibly help be a big impact. You win. Now, I can't get you emotionally connected to that. But I can tell you, if you do that, and then we'll finish. For those of you business-minded people that are like, okay, Sears, so how does this is like touchy-feely, like how does this translate? Because I'm a for-profit business. I want you to do some math with me for a second. So at the convention, I think all of us are going to be there. Did I make any sense today? If you and I work together, could we build 20 over the next 6 months? You sure?
Yeah.
Would that serve you? Would that help your business? Okay. Could we do that?
Yeah.
Could we do that? 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 Could we do it? Could we do it? Could we do it? Could we do it? Okay, now I'm not the greatest at math, but that's 14 people. What's 14 times 20? 280? Or 2,800? I don't know the math. 280? Is it 280? 280. In 6 months, I have 280 relationships that are one generation from me that are clearer on what my business does, that are emotionally connected to the people that are delivering it, and are practicing the art of asking, how can I help? You've been in business a long time. If I had direct access to 280 people that were emotionally connected to the business growth process, does that enhance the value of my business? See, if you do this, and Isaac does it, you understand Isaac's in your business? That the value of your business just doubled overnight, and you didn't have to do anything except lead it? That is why a distribution model is so critical. That is why we have a leverageable experience. Because I said, if you have the 100 people at your RVP promotion, but if you have 40 people on your team and each of them have 20, you understand that the 20 of them have 20, there's 400, there's 500 people at your RVP promotion that are all emotionally connected to being a part of your journey? If you have 500 people emotionally connected to being part of your journey, do you think you can create some success? Wait, that sounds a lot more fun than you waking up going, how am I going to control my business? Because that's what most of the independent business owners do. Is holy shit, if I don't stay focused today, I don't have a business. Wade took 6 months, go handle your family. Right, we spent time, we met every couple weeks because he's my friend. We talked about business and growth. And Wade made some money. Wade's gonna lock in some clients. Wade's gonna go do this. That's my business. But when we strip it all away and talk simply business for a second, it didn't cost me a dime to create revenue. Not only did it not cost me any money, and not only did it make me money, but then it became leverageable because he stood up here and said, I did exactly what Sears talked about us doing, and it worked. And so everyone in the room was like, shit, maybe I should listen to Sears more. And so it didn't just help Wade, it exponentially grew, and it didn't cost me a dime. Can you imagine? That's just for the business nerds in the room where you're like, oh, that's awesome. If you do this, you'll be able to model it. And as you tell that story to people, and they're like, so, Don, why are you doing this? And then you tell the story about, so is it going to work? And you tell the story about working with the schools and doing all this other stuff. And one of the biggest, so what's the biggest problem that you see coming? Biggest problem is I think in the next 2 years, we're going to be in front of all of the schools in Santa Clarita, and I need 30 licensed people. And I just have never felt comfortable recruiting because I don't want to convince someone to do it. And so I'm in a conundrum. What do you mean? Well, I actually need people to get licensed. We actually pay for people to get licensed, and I want to hand deliver them appointments. But I have a hard time kind of convincing people and getting people to realize it because I know I can help people, but right, I never want to convince someone to do something out of like, it's just kind of weird. Right? So I always sit with someone and say, look, if I can hand deliver you, I don't know, 10 appointments where you can make an extra couple $1,000s this year, would that help? You just recruited them accidentally. That doesn't happen, we don't got the word. Make a commitment. You're going to be in Indianapolis. This piece of paper is going to be different than it is right now. You're going to be in Indianapolis. This piece of paper is going to be different. You're going to be in Indianapolis? This piece of paper. This is what we change. So, we got Oz Night. I'll be in touch with everybody. We'll be in touch with everyone over the next couple of days. We'll get things coordinated. We're going to be in Pomona, right? Plan on by 8:40. If you're going to go there and not meet with us, like, let's get there early so we can sit together. We'll meet here. We'll create it. We'll get all stuff. We'll show up. We'll take lots of notes. We'll hear lots of smart people that are winning, and we'll celebrate. There'll be lots of clapping and people getting recognition and all sorts of stuff. It'll be fantastic, right? Because it gives us that opportunity. But the goal at some of us is to be like, we're going to go do something else. We're going to wear our Team Access shirts, whatever Access shirt you have, and then we have a couple extras. We'll bring whatever maroon or gray, right? We didn't get as organized as we wanted to on certain levels. We'll get better at that. And then, so we're going to go the 14th, and then we're going to be in another office in February. So when you're out there on the 14th, I want you to ask yourself, how do I want to feel like this in February, or do I want one more person with me? Right? It's amazing how better you feel when there's at least one more person feeling the same page you are. Right? So, love you guys. Anything else? Good? Let's have some fun. Let's blow it out. Let's blow this thing. Securities license, study together, build this stuff. Let's get it done. Let's let them know what it's all about. Thank you for sharing.